Hello everyone, welcome. I'm Miss Jackie from the Lakeville District Library, and this is Lesson 3 of our Learn to Crochet series. We are going to crochet some friendship cuffs in this lesson. Here is our pattern that we're going to be working with. I will have this written out in the description box below. You also get 2 skeins of yarn in various colors, and then some pretty wooden buttons of different sizes. We won't be using all of these buttons for this first cuff, but I put enough in your bag so that you can make up a bunch of friendship cuffs if you want to. So let's get started on the pattern. I'm going to start out with my teal yarn. Let's make our slip knot. Make sure to leave a long tail and put it in a loop on your desk. Then you're going to put your thumb and your pointer finger through the loop, grab the end of the string, and then with the string that's attached to the skein of yarn, you just kind of slip it off your fingers until it forms a little knot. Put it on your crochet hook and tighten it up a little bit. Now we are all ready to crochet. We're going to start out with a few chains. You learned how to do this in the first lesson, but we're not going to make as many chains as we did in that first lesson. We're only going to make about 22 chains. You're going to make it big enough so that it wraps loosely around your wrist. 22 chains I found was kind of an average size for a child's wrist. I am going to have to go a little bit bigger for mine, but I'm going to show you how to do this. And remember not to do your chains too tight or too loose, and just do them as evenly as you can. Okay, I have 22 chains here. I'm going to take this off my crochet hook. Make sure you leave a long loop so you don't undo your work. And as you can see, it doesn't quite fit my wrist, and I'm not stretching the yarn. You don't want to stretch your yarn. But it doesn't quite fit my wrist, so I'm going to crochet a few more chains. If you chain 22 and it fits your wrist just perfectly, then you can go ahead and stop there. So to create these friendship cuffs, we're going to be doing some single crochets. You're going to go into your last chain, wrap your hook around the yarn, and pull a loop through. You now have 2 loops on your hook. Wrap your hook around the yarn and pull it through both of the loops, and that's a single crochet. Let's do that again. So you're going to go into the next chain, wrap your hook around the yarn and pull up a loop. Wrap your hook around the yarn again and pull it through both of the loops on your hook. You're going to single crochet in every single chain until you get to the very first chain you made. Just take your time and go slow. This is really fun to do. And again, you'll get faster and better at it as you practice. Okay, here is my last chain. I'm going to do a single crochet in that. And now I'm ready to turn my work. So I'm just going to turn it in my hand so that it's facing the opposite direction. Let me show you again here, just kind of turn it. Before you begin a row, you're going to chain 1. This will allow you to go right back into the last single crochet that you made. So we're going to go into the last single crochet. From the top, the single crochet stitch looks like a little V, and you're going to make sure you go under the V. Wrap your hook around the yarn and pull it through both of the loops on your hook. Let's do that again. Go under the little V stitch, wrap your yarn around your hook, pull through a loop, wrap your hook around the yarn again and pull it through both loops on your hook. You're going to go all the way down the row, single crocheting in each single crochet stitch. Let me skip ahead to the end. Here is my last single crochet. I'll push my hook through the stitch, grab a loop, pull it through, grab a loop, and pull it through the 2 loops on my hook. The yarn is going to twist like this, but that's totally normal. Okay, now we're going to change the color. I want to add some gray to this friendship cuff. So I'm going to cut a tail, and now we are going to knot this end. So let's wrap the crochet hook around the tail and pull it through the loop. And now give the tail a little tug to tighten the knot. And here is our bracelet so far. Now I'm going to teach you how to change the yarn color. I'll take out the second skein of yarn that came in this kit, and again you can mix and match from the other lessons. But we're going to tie another slip knot with this yarn. So create a loop on your desk, leaving yourself a long tail. Put your 2 fingers through the loop, and then grab the tail of the yarn. And then with the yarn connected to the skein, you just pull it through, and there's your slip knot. Now let's attach this to our hook and change the color for our cuff. Okay, you're going to hold up your work, find the last single crochet that you made, and you're going to push your hook through this single crochet. Pull the yarn through. You have 2 loops on your hook. Pull the yarn through both of those. So it's just another single crochet that we're attaching it with. And now you can continue on down this row doing more single crochets. I'm just going to do 1 row with the gray, but you can do as many as you'd like. You can make this cuff really thick or thin. But I just wanted to add a little stripe of color on this cuff. So again, you're just doing a single crochet in each single crochet all the way down the edge of this cuff. Okay, so here is our last single crochet, and I'll just single crochet in that. And here is the almost finished cuff. Isn't that fun? Now we're going to attach the 2 sides. So we're not going to cut off the yarn yet. We're going to use it to sew the 2 ends together. This can be kind of a tricky step. It doesn't have to be perfect. So you'll want to line up the 2 ends of your cuff, and we're going to push the crochet hook through both of the ends and pull up a loop, and then pull that loop through the loop on your hook. Let's do that again. Push the hook through your work, pull up a loop, and then pull that loop through the loop on your hook. And you're going to continue doing this all the way across the edge of your cuff. Okay, so here is the cuff all sewn together, and now we can cut off the yarn and tie a knot. So I'll cut the yarn, leaving a long tail. I'll wrap the tail around my crochet hook and pull that through the loop. This makes a knot. We'll just give it a little tug to tighten it. And now we have all of these strands or tails to weave into our work. If you didn't want to weave them, you could even just tie them into a knot, trim them so that they're all the same length, and it would be a fun little streamer on your friendship cuff. But I've decided to weave mine into my work. So I'm just going to weave the tails in my work. I'm making sure to weave the gray tail into the gray stitches on my work. This will hide it a lot better than if I were to weave it into the teal yarn. You don't have to weave the whole tail in. Just weave it through a few stitches. And then you can trim it off. And this will secure your work so it doesn't unravel. And I do that with all of the tails. And here it is all complete. And now for a fun part. I'm going to attach the buttons to my friendship cuff. I'm going to hide the seam with one of the larger buttons. You can attach them with a hot glue gun or with a needle and thread. I'm going to show you how I attached my buttons with a needle and thread. So I have thread on this needle already. I'm going to put my button on the cuff where I want to hide the seam. So I'll push the needle up through the underside of the cuff and directly through one of the holes on the button. And then I'll pull that, leaving a little bit of a tail. I don't have a knot on this yet, but I want to leave a tail so it doesn't come loose. And then I'm going to go down through the second hole and through the cuff and just pull that tight. I'm going to go back up again through the underside of the cuff and through the first hole of the button. And then again down and back through the underside of the cuff. Make sure to do that a few times. And now we can tie the ends of our thread. I'm going to cut off the needle. I'll put that right away. And then with the two ends of the yarn, I'm going to tie them into a knot. And I do this twice just so it's nice and secure. Again, if you don't want to sew on your buttons, you can hot glue gun them on, but just make sure to get the help of an adult. I'm just going to add one button to this friendship cuff, but you can add as many as you'd like. I made sure to add buttons of different sizes and colors in your kit so that you'd have a nice selection to choose from. Now I can trim off the thread, and this cuff is done. So your cuff should be stretchy enough that you can stretch it over your hand and onto your wrist. Let's try this on and see if it fits. There we go, just perfect. I hope you all have fun creating your friendship cuffs. You should have enough yarn and buttons to create quite a few. Have fun! Bye!